We'll get there, right? All right, everybody, welcome back to another Friday Night Magic tournament from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. My name, as always, is Zachary Evans. I'm joined tonight by special guest Allie Browning, and we are going to get right into the action here tonight. Despite this store being full of about, I'd say, over 50 people, there are somehow only 22 people playing in the Standard Tournament. Of course, it is the last week of Standard before the Dragon's Maze pre-release, which is tonight at midnight or tomorrow morning and Sunday for most people. So Standard is kind of boring for a lot of people. It's not entirely unexpected. But that being said, there are just a lot of people here playing a lot of other games, I guess. Let's talk a little bit about the matchup. On the left is Chris Harless. He's played on the stream numerous times before and is playing what I can only imagine is his Grixis control deck. That is the favorite deck of choice. And on the right, Stream and Lost Legion regular, but I was trying to think the last time I saw Joe Lewis playing Magic in this store. It has been quite a while, but he is back tonight and he is playing American Flash, and it is the version with Boros Reckoners in it. So we'll see we'll see how well it goes. As the chat, João in the chat, one of our dedicated Portuguese viewers, is saying the stream actually looks fine tonight. So we'll cross our fingers and knock on wood collectively that stays that way. So 22 players tonight, 4 rounds of Swiss. And if you remember the last time Allie was here, more giveaways, so make sure that you stay tuned for those. Whoop. I did something and then it skipped there. So, as long as I don't ever do anything, then I think the stream quality is fine. So Joe's sending his opening 7 back. We see Chris rifling through his hand. All I saw was an island and a Dreadbore. But knowing Joe's list, to a certain degree, that Dreadbore is going to be pretty good against the aforementioned Boros Reckoner. Beyond that, I'm not sure exactly what kind of build he has. Is that an Aurelia in his hand? Maybe not. So Joe winning the requisite game of rock, paper, scissors, leading off with a Sulphur Falls. And at this moment, I literally realized for the first time tonight that I didn't even bother to set up anything to fix the glare. So it should be interesting to see what portions of the field are unviewable. This is the 4th week in a row that I've come into the store and there has been a different configuration of tables and chairs. So every time I get it dialed in, the next week it's the tables. One time the table was even gone. They thrown it away because it broke. So So Joe going to Thought Scour himself, milling a Geist, which is not ideal. Plays a Slayer Stronghold, so not the. So Joe a little bit stuck on mana here. When you're main phasing your Thought Scour and playing your colorless land as your 3rd land in the Boros Reckoner deck, things have not gone as you would have liked. So Chris, playing Draw Go, as we would expect out of the control deck. Non-stop action.
Yeah.
Non-stop action. End of turn, Chris going to cycle his Think Twice, and Joe's stuck on 3 lands again.
I'm a little biased because my premiere on the stream, I got doored by Chris. So.
Chris going to pay 2 for his untapped Watery Grave and play a Jace, I can imagine. And it's going to result because Joe has to Dissipate in his hand, but he only has 1 blue mana source because I think he has a Cavern. Oh no, Chris is going to draw, which seems like a pretty good use of Jace. I think a lot of times players slam Jace and immediately start milling, and unless you get all the way there, it's not going to be enough. And I know Chris is not really, despite being a blue-black base control deck, he's not really a Nephalia Drownyard deck. He actually plays a fair amount of burn. including the Devil's Play that's in his graveyard. For those of you who have been following us throughout the week on our Facebook page, remember this is another week where we have Stream Regular Max Turner playing a deck that you, the Facebook fans, voted on. And this week he is playing a very saucy, unexpected results with Omniscience deck. We play tested it a lot earlier, and it is hilarious. It's just a good deck. It plays 4 Thragtusk and ramps, so it's got a good plan A, but the combo win with plan B and some flipping fun stuff is pretty unparalleled in terms of how entertaining it can be. So make sure you stick around for that. We'll probably see him in round 2 or later. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to watch round 2. So Joe just discarding the I apologize for the glare. I'll try to fix that and try to fix that in between rounds here. But Chris continually ticking up that Jace Memory Adept. Joe providing no pressure because of a completely horrible mana draw. Is it a Staff of Nin? And now Joe's found the second Sulfur Falls, so the staff gets dissipated. I think that's a Staff of Nin. I don't know if I've ever seen someone cast a Staff of Nin that wasn't the promo. And there is Boros Reckoner. So Joe has applied some amount of pressure, but we know that Chris has a Dreadbore in hand already. Chris is going to go ahead and draw 1, mill 1. And there is the Dreadbore on the Reckoner. So Joe, unfortunately, not only to be stuck on lands for most of the game, but not being able to play his Reckoner and leave up counterspell mana to protect it. That is the problem with these decks that play the one of Slayer's Stronghold or the one of Desolate Lighthouse or a combination of both. The mana gets really tricky. I can't believe I didn't think about the glare. I do that every week. So Joe and the Thinker here, we see Azorius Charm. Not sure what else he has in hand. There is a second Reckoner using the Cavern, which I can only imagine is naming Wizard, since it applies to both the Reckoner and Snapcaster Mage. And there's another Dreadbore in Chris's hand, so I would think at this point maybe Chris should be zeroing Jace here. I think he could have won the game a long time ago. I like his initial.
Chat is agreeing here with you.
I like his initial +1, but once it became obvious that Joe was not going to present any pressure, I think you just start milling. Because Jace starts at 4, right? So he's plussed it 5 times. So that's a smooth 50 cards mill, and I think that probably would have gotten her done. So Joe landing a Hallowed Fountain. And no action into turn. Chris is going to draw 2 and discard 2 off of his Izzet Charm. Izzet Charm often underplayed card in these. Most Flash decks don't play it. And you don't see it a lot in Control. Three mana in Chris's deck usually means the door. So I guess he's just never going to. He's just using that Jace as a Staff of Nin, I guess, or a no life paying Phyrexian Arena. I don't know if I've ever seen a Jace Memory Adept at 10 loyalty. End of turn Sphinx's Revelation. There's no way this resolves, right? I see another Izzet Charm in Chris's hand, which should be the play here. Should be the play. And it is, in fact, the answer Chris comes up with. It's amazing how quiet it gets out there once the tournament actually starts.
Yeah.
So Joe on reckoner number 3, this time with mana up to protect it via counter magic. And he's going to activate his Slayer's Stronghold and attack Jace for 5. So as far ahead as Chris is in this game, if that Jace somehow gets removed, taken care of, since he discarded one earlier off the Izzet Charm, he's going to need to find another way to actually win. And he's still going to draw cards. Oh, another Dreadbore. Joe having tapped out to activate the Slayer's Stronghold. There's the door. Lantern is in play. Does he have enough mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think he has it. Joe going to need a Detention Sphere, an O-Ring, some kind of Armageddon, maybe. I don't know, a Stifle, Trick Bind, or just the Scoop phase.
I'm not gonna lie, that's hard to watch.
Well, it's not the best game of Magic we've ever had on the stream. I can't, not gonna put on airs and suggest they can't all be winners. But you know who is a bunch of winners? The fine folks here at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. We want to thank those guys for letting us stream their FNM each and every week. Like I said, they have done some remodeling here and they have done some rearranging, but every week they let me set up my equipment and broadcast this to you, so we appreciate them. They're going to be letting me stream the pre-release on Sunday as well, so make sure to follow here on Twitch so you're reminded of that come Sunday. But if you're ever in the area, Lost Legion has 4 locations in West Virginia: Princeton, Beckley, South Charleston, and Parkersburg, all a convenient distance from major metro areas like Columbus, Blacksburg, Lexington, etc. So if you're ever in the area or just driving through, make sure to stop by and support the store that supports our stream. If you're watching now live, you obviously know twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic is the website for the weekly FNM stream. We start every week at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And if you're watching on YouTube, try to catch us live sometime. If you can't make your FNM, come watch ours. So, as I said, I'm Zachary Evans. This is the aforementioned Allie Browning. We have goodies to give away. Much like last week, I will try to figure out how exactly to give them away, which is always a struggle. But for the stream, for the viewers, each round will be giving away these goodies: Mindslaver, Birthing Pod, Counterbalance, Thrundle Astral, and a Stoneforge Mystic. If those cards don't interest you, then I don't know what to tell you, because those are all very exciting. And then the people here in the building tonight will be winning some standard cards, which are Blind Obedience, Trostani, Supreme Verdict, Clifftop Retreat, and a Godless Shrine. So, Allie, thanks again for your generosity. We'll figure some way of giving those away. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, this is one of the reasons you should watch live, is because you can occasionally win cards like this. This is not an after-the-fact drawing like our weekly rock, paper, scissors giveaway. So don't send me an email on Wednesday of next week saying, how can I win a counterbalance?
Unless you're a babyface grown knuckles.
Yes, Allie mentioning that we did, in fact, reach a milestone today. Our 1,000th YouTube subscriber, which is, I don't know, I'm pretty proud of that. It's not, there's a lot of very popular channels that don't have 1,000 subscribers, but the irony is that the individual who was the 1,000th subscriber is named Babyface Girl 98, which I think is, it's pretty much my target demographic, I would say. Wouldn't you agree? Is the 15-year-old girl demographic?
Well, now we just assume it could be a 45-year-old man.
It could. I stand corrected, Al. You are correct. It is someone who is trying to appear, at a minimum, someone who is trying to come across as a 15-year-old girl. a baby-faced 15-year-old girl too. We do need to additionally qualify that. So.
And Max did get a haircut and shave, so.
It could be Max. It could be our own Max Turner. Trying to get in on the action like that. Yeah. So let's, while these guys are doing this, let's go ahead and give away a Mindslaver. I'm going to ask a trivia question in the stream, and the first person to give the correct answer will win. Once I figure that out, I'll say it. What is a good stream? I want to be stream based. I want to reward the people who are dedicatedly watching. Well, we'll come up with that question here at the end of this round. So, Joe again on the play as he did drop in game one due to some fairly unfortunate mana draws, leading off the tap Sacred Foundry, followed up by a tap Steam Vince from Chris. Joe's going to thinker here. So Joe playing his land tap. I was going to say before I was so rudely cut off by Joe actually playing the Azorius Charm that he's likely going to play the Azorius Charm. And Joe on the Geist of St. Traff playing here. Now he's playing Reckoners in the main as we saw in game one, so the Geist is likely, or almost assuredly, a sideboard card against the control matchup. Oh, and Chris, like a boss, just with a tribute to hunger. Come in. Hey, Max.
Hey.
Did you get there?
No.
Well, you're playing against. That's why I didn't put you on the. Because we're now joined by Max Turner, and we see a.
I got wrecked.
We see. We're joined by Max Turner, who's playing Unexpected Results, but you're playing against Drew Scher's control deck.
Yes.
And your deck does not pair well against Counterspell.deck.
Well, Rakdos returned me out game one and then just slammed at Jason and ran up game two and then milled
Well, just win the rest of them. Just win the rest of them.
I've realized I can't beat Jace.
Well, we'll see if we can get you in action here in the next round, but back to our game. Geist of St. Traff answered with a perfectly on-curve tribute to hunger.
It's good.
Boris Reckoner then answered with yet another Dread Boris. So Chris with the nuts draw here in terms of his interaction with Joe. End of turn, Joe's going to flash in a Snapcaster and cycle an Azorius Charm. So Joe going to pound in here with the Snapcaster.
Nothing makes me more happy than when you say pound.
Pound in with Snapcaster. Joe attempting another Reckoner. I've never liked this against anyone at anything that is less than like a Grand Prix level event. I never like the offer it up as if you're assuming it's going to get countered. Because, against an opponent who's not necessarily, Pro Tour level, you might be able to Jedi Mind Track them into thinking, oh, I have no responses. I don't care about that card. You can, yes, you can alternatively, as we see as promo Searing Spear taking out the Joe's Plan B, which is Snapcaster Beatdowns. If the Searing Spear resolves, Joe will not be able to pound in for 2 damage. Alternatively, you can show your opponent the card that you could care less about to bait out the... Does this resolve? I know these are all like a very low-tier Jedi Mind Tricks, but...
I was watching poker earlier, and the guy made an awful bet, and then he called time on his guy waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you never do that. You don't call time unless you have not got it. I was like, it's like calling time. Of course, I've never heard of calling slow playing poker, but...
Yeah, you can call it clocked. It's almost entirely taboo.
Well, this guy made an awful bet and tried to call time to see if the guy would just...
to rush him into making a comparably bad decision. So Joe has every land that he didn't draw in the last game. They are playing draw go here. I would imagine the longer the game goes.
A little lantern.
There's a lantern. Chris plays I think, a couple lanterns, which help for fixing in ramp, but it's primarily because he wants to kill his opponent with door to nothingness, which he did do in game 1 against Joe, because he chose to activate his +1 on Chase Memory Adept literally 7 times instead of just killing Joe. There was at least one turn where if Chris didn't have an answer to Boris Reckoner's, Jace was going to die. Dispel. So Tribute gets dispelled, so the Restoration Angel sticks around.
Yeah, but Chris hasn't really had a backfill life total yet.
No, 20 is actually the life that you start the game with.
I didn't know that.
So, it's pretty much living the dream. There's a symbol of the Legion. If this resolves, Chris with the...
One hand much more cold than the other.
Yes. Don't forget festive as well. So we have donned the bow tie ring. But anyway, Chris is up against it here. A symbol of the Legion is a card he literally cannot beat, short of just racing it.
Is it another tribute?
Yep.
I guess that helps slightly.
Well, it buys you some turns. Like Chris's only play here is to draw door to nothingness, resolve door to nothingness,
Like a bolus.
and then bolus won't work
He blows up the symbol.
if he draws it next turn exactly. But once you get to the point where there's 3 dudes on board, it's like Chris is playing a 1-for-1 deck. I'm telling you, if he makes 3 dudes, he can't win. 1 dude pounds in. Back down to the starting life total.
That's the best amount of pounding, I think, is 1 dude.
1 dude. It's not where I try to go when I start, but it has.
Came in here.
Did you have fun with your deck at all, Max, or was it just a bad
I
matchup?
didn't get to do anything.
Well, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not anybody's fault. Drew Scher's a mean control player.
But you don't have a very good matchup against control. But to be fair, there's not a lot of control in the room, necessarily.
No, Todd was very proud of him for playing Grixis. I've been pushing on him for months.
He's been playing that for a while, and it's
He went to
pretty,
June for a long time.
pretty well. Devil's Play for 1 token.
We discussed that.
It's very aggressive.
Would he just dome Joe?
Yes, I would have done that because I don't see how we're winning this game trying to eliminate creatures. Sphinx's Revelation here for 3.
Redirect doesn't work.
No,
Good
it
players.
is not targeted.
Now at or above the starting life total.
I did see Joe have a Reverberate. Isn't that a Reverberate in his graveyard?
What?
The card right here, the
Looks
4th
like
from the
it.
top is a Reverberate, which basically works as a red counterspell, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's a redirect, isn't it? Or is it copying?
Reverberate, I believe, is...
It's like a red twin cast.
I don't know if it's redirect or copy. I think it's redirect. I can look it up, I guess.
Chat says copy.
Copy. I've stopped using the card viewer because I'm scared that opening additional Chrome windows will just crash my computer. So
It's because Chrome's the devil.
it eats a lot of
I'm a
processor.
Firefox user.
Is there any way that Chris in his deck can deal with?
Did he just Devil's Play a token again?
He did.
We talk about that.
Well, I understand that Chris's deck is designed to remove a lot of creature threats, but you can't. You're not going to win the game against Symbol of the Legion.
Does he play curses?
I don't think so. Joe is just.
Running away.
Joe plays Dredge in Legacy. Anybody figure that out? As his graveyard goes all the way across his table. So, a symbol up to 3. Joe with 1,000 cards in hand.
No morals.
And,
Slayer Stronghold?
yeah, he had that for a while, so.
Get in there.
5 damage.
Tribute.
It's going to be 4 damage total.
This is going to be 3, right?
Nope. Two dudes and +2 +0 from the...
Okay. But he gained 1.
Oh, yeah, it is. You're right. Fine, Max. Fine. You're right.
I'm your fact checker.
I'm phoning it in. It's halfway through round 1, so this is not boding well for the rest of the evening.
How many players do we have today?
22, which is very surprising because there are like 50 people in the store. So we see a Dreadbore take out yet another token. But
Should have got the Vigilant one,
I'm pretty
in
sure
my opinion.
there's like a Pathfinder game going on. There's about 6 Yu-Gi-Oh players.
There's
There's
X-Wing,
some X-Wing miniatures being played.
which looks pretty interesting.
I don't know much about miniatures games, but I know that one is very well, a lot of good reviews on that one. So now we're to the point of the game where Joe doesn't have enough actual assemble tokens. Geist of Saint Trapped.
Seems good.
Give it haste.
Yeah, well,
Attack for
4, 8,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13.
so Xaxes.
The kids call that one Xaxes, Max. You're exactly right. And so Joe Lewis, off the strength of Assemble the Legion,
Going to game 3.
pushes this to game 3. Which means that we don't have to go look for another feature match. We can just grind out this one. But Max, I don't know if you knew before the round, I've already told our faithful viewers here, but Allie's generously brought more cards to give away.
I see a really nice looking Mindslaver.
It's an old Mindslaver.
Yes.
That's the one we're giving out.
Is that to the stream?
It is to the stream.
I'm on the wrong end of this business.
So here's what I'm going to... Here's the trivia question. Of course, the trivia questions throughout the night we'll be answering here in the chat. We might have one answered on Facebook or something like that. But here's the question I've got you for tonight. Courtesy of Max being in the booth tonight, the very first... If you go to our Facebook page, every week we post highlight videos, if there is an appropriate highlight, or lowlight videos, if there's an appropriate lowlight. Huh?
The camera got knocked.
Yeah, I saw it, but okay. That's good. How is that not more interference than moving the camera? But anyway, so we go to on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. We post highlight videos. They're fun to watch. A lot of them have featured Max because he plays fun decks and does degenerate stuff. The question I have for you is, the very first highlight of the week on our Facebook page featured Max. What spell did Max resolve that made it a feature highlight of the week?
I don't even know the answer to this question.
I think I might know.
Well, you can't answer because it's your own giveaway.
It's my card, yeah.
So just go ahead and answer in the chat while we wait for these guys to...
It wasn't my deck picked.
Oh, we do have a winner. And it is from someone who plays at the shop, which is not always the perfect answer. Oh, we see Tindra. I haven't seen Tindra for a million years. You might be saying, Zach, who's Tindra? Well, obviously, if you're saying that, then you're not a long-time fan of the stream. Tindra is the wonderful viewer who came up with this caricature that we use for all of our... Man, at some point I'm going to have to get an updated one in case I ever shave my beard.
You're not doing it. You're not allowed.
So, you see how big this is? We're like so many months behind the time I was going to catch it. But congratulations, I should say, to Michael Taylor, Lost Legion's own Michael Taylor. Saves me a smooth 50 cents in postage. The answer was Genesis Wave. Max was playing Elves. It was the last week that you could play Elves before rotation.
Okay.
And you cast Genesis Wave for 11. And you flipped, I believe, an Elder Scale Worm. What was it?
Raider Hoof or something?
No, it was Elder Scale Worm, because you're playing against an Is It Burn deck he literally couldn't beat that card. So congratulations to Michael. We'll get more giveaways tonight. Like I said, still in the hopper. Birthing Pod, Counterbalance, Throne the Last Troll, and Stoneforge Mystic.
Sweet.
We've also got this sweet technology that...
Oh, that goes to sleep sometimes.
You might be asking yourself, well, Zach, what is Genesis Wave all about?
Do we have a hashtag Genesis Wave now?
I do have that. MTG bot. MTG bot.
How much
Courtesy
you
of
gotta pay that?
nothing. That was created by a Twitch user named Dan Bopes, who I got in touch with.
Props.
I got in touch with him through the South Florida Magic Legacy stream on Tuesday nights, which is I like to call them our sister stream.
We're gonna
cross
go visit them
promote.
one day.
Well, they are in West Palm Beach, Florida. So I'm off. It's very close. It's like a couple.
I like going to Florida.
Who doesn't like going to Florida?
I'm gonna have to stop at the Welcome Center so I can drink orange juice till they throw me out. Have you been to the Welcome Center?
No.
They have orange juice like the old high school machines. You go up and get it.
Nice.
It's free. Eventually they'll tell you to quit.
How much did you drink before they told you to?
I think me and my family stayed there for like 3 hours. Just hanging out. There was nothing to do. We're like, we can't go to the hotel yet or anything.
Oh, okay.
We were early getting to Daytona, and then we just sit there for 3 hours. Let's drink juice till they run out of serve.
So you go to Florida, and you can't find nothing to do for 3 hours to drink orange juice.
If that's day one of the trip, you're in a world of hurt for the rest of your vacation.
I went to Orlando Studios on that trip.
Well, let's get back to the action here. Turn 1, Watery Grave from Chris. And Joe is going to play his Hallowed Fountain untapped, indicating likely
Everybody's trying to get cards to pop up.
Thought Scour. It's very hard to use, and I'm not going to tell us. Okay, so the question in the chat, which happens every time Chris plays on camera, is what's the deal with his pregame ritual?
What is this pregame ritual?
His pregame ritual is to shuffle his deck, present it for cut. Then when he gets back, he plays an Exodia card, which I believe is from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes.
Then he piles his 7 cards onto it, then takes a random hero clicks that changes every week, and rubs on top of it for good luck. Results may vary, but that is what
I have a
happened.
Dark Magician in my backpack. Would that be a substitute for Exodia?
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what that is. I'm assuming it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. So we're playing some Draw Go here. Joe cycling Azorius Charm and then Thought Scouring himself. Do these American Flash decks really play Thought Scour that much? He didn't draw off the Thought Scour, did
It's
he?
all that legitimate.
Hey, did he ask him if he drew off his Thought Scour?
Did you draw? Joe, did you draw from your Thought Scour? Huh? You milled it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Coming in here, sitting all up.
I would be very curious to go back and watch to see. I don't think he drew a card off of it.
Somebody got it to work.
Yeah, they got it to work, but then they realized that MTG Bot has a Can't Abuse Me feature, which says, oh, he did draw. Okay, so the
For
chat,
non-mods. You can abuse it.
myself and Chaz Dragon Tamer can abuse it. So let's get back to the match here, as we haven't even reached the end of round 1. We've already completely lost it in terms of our.
This is really like a interesting.
I like how when you said that you tried to temper yourself, but then you said the literally most blunt thing possible. You're like, this isn't really any fun at all to watch. It's actually can be pretty good, but there is a lot of draw go action here as we see a negate take out Jace Memory Adept, obviously another sideboarded answer that or sideboarded win condition Joe's brought in against the control deck.
Chris's deck clearly being the much more interesting because we all know what Flash rolls and.
Chris's deck is interesting because Chris is playing a deck that we don't see 9 copies of every week.
Correct.
On every professional tour.
Take it that.
And he's gonna.
No,
Well,
plus
see,
it's in right now.
I don't mind plussing it. I think sometimes.
I think you just got to put your foot down and just grind it out.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is I think sometimes people are guilty of using the mill ability in situations where they should just be drawing cards. But in this case, Chris should definitely, when you're so far ahead like this and there's nothing on board, you should be milling.
You should assemble because eventually going to eat
He's
your
never
face.
going to be, if he just draws cards like if he just tries to play this fair, he's never going to win. I wonder if he's just too dead set on playing that door. I mean, I know he really likes door to nothingness, but I'm not sure if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, he's two more lands away from Doring. He's triumphantly casting the tribute here. Taking out the token. He's going to gain 1 life. Yeah, I think you mill. So he could have milled 20 cards by this point. Taken no damage.
No, Jason's just going to die, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. Feels like he should be.
I agree with Michael Taylor.
We're going to think twice in response to the lethal Searing Spear. See if we can draw any business. We cannot.
Alright.
I mean, he drew a lot of cards, but
You draw another Jace.
when you're facing down the Assembled Legion, you're just looking to end the game as quickly as possible, because the Assembled Legion is going to end the game as quickly as possible. You have to be faster.
If you start playing Nick Bolas here, I feel better about the situation.
I want to be honest with you, I don't know if there's a Nicol Bolas in his deck.
There has to be.
I've never seen him cast it. He's been playing this deck for many months. For low these many months he has played Grixis
There's
Control.
one in my Unexpected Results deck.
There's one in my Rug Delver Legacy deck. Everybody has one in some.
Yeah.
So there is another Lantern.
He's just begging for D-Sphere.
He wants
I
to
don't
be.
know.
Well, you know Joe has access to D-Sphere. Some of these lists play a D-Sphere in the main,
Joe's to rein that Dredge Yard in.
but all of them, it's the urban sprawl out of the. The graveyard is just taking over. Azorius Charm comes in tapped and attacking.
Are you playing tonight? Why not?
Oh, it was even, so I figured.
No, that's a poor excuse. I would
Not
have loved a first round bye.
Not everyone has to play Magic, Max.
Yeah, in hindsight, you probably would want the first time. But
Draw. He said to draw. Draw the cards.
Drawing cards is very good here.
It's going to die next turn.
It's going to die next turn
Yeah, either
anyway.
way, draw. Okay, it didn't make it in. Oh.
But here's the problem: when you're the guy who casts the threat, the counterflux is not a hard counter,
Nope.
or it's not as uncounterable. Okay, counterflux resolves. Tamio's still in the stack. Counter again. I don't even know if Joe necessarily counters back. Like, what's the Tamio going to do in this game?
Draw 2 cards.
Yeah. Like, do you just save the cards that he was going to?
I wouldn't have even negated it.
That's what I mean. Joe explaining that the Tamio is still in the stack. Snapcaster negate back. Snapcaster is uncounterable. Yeah, I think it's one of those cases where, like, you don't necessarily need to play around the Tamio because you're just going to kill it next turn.
3rd later.
I guess if he ups it, then it's 6, he can't kill it next turn, but then he can't draw cards off of it.
Right.
And then you can just hold the counter magic back for whatever he inevitably casts.
Maybe Joe's using like a big fog, or so that way he doesn't have to waste time
There's
attacking it.
it's not like it's a bad play to counter it, you know what I mean? It's just, it's one of those things that if you want to get fancy, I guess you could play around, right?
I mean, he's going to hit it for what? 7?
10 minutes remaining in the round, which indicates that my clock, which as we all know is for entertainment purposes only.
I live my life by that clock.
The one time it was perfect, Adam Vickers wasn't here, and he constantly reminds me of that time. Remember that one time it was perfect? The local legend Adam Vickers in the house tonight, playing some, what's he playing? Some Kibler Ooze?
Yes. So this is borderline lethal, isn't it? Looks like some spear back up.
We've got 9 power of attackers, 11 power of attackers, plus any burn spell. Uh-oh.
Does he have a Slayer? What is that? Tribute? Oh.
But there's no sequence of cards here that Chris can have, short of having like a...
So he takes 10.
Yeah, short of having like a Magma Quake or something to clear the board. Angel.
Snapcaster Bird. I know there's a spear in there.
There is a spear. Snapcaster Spear gets the job done. Snapcaster off the top for Chris.
Well,
Would the game have been different if he had been using the Jace? I think
so.
I think the Jace dies at some points to the double spears,
I
but
think he would have got 30 cards.
it seemed to be Chris's only course of potentially winning that game. So I don't know. I literally don't know anything, Max. We are all aware of this. So, like I said, joined here by Allie Browning and Max Turner. Max, let's talk about your, let's switch back to the studio cam. I'll sit up. I like how I'm very well trained because I'm sitting in front of this camera all the time, so that when it comes back here, I don't necessarily everybody inevitably does that thing where they all sit up straight or whatever. The only thing I do is make sure my head is on this screen. But Max is playing, if you've been watching forever, you know that this is the fourth installment, or at least you know that in the past, Max has participated in a little promotion that we call Max Turner Needs a Deck. That is deck with an E. I'm going to go ahead and make that joke for Garrett because he would do it if he was in here. So in spirit, I'll make that joke for him. The very first week you did it, which was about 2 months ago, Blue Red Storm, chopped the top 4. It was awesome. Burn at the stake, everybody. Next week you played Red Green Stuffy Doll. It's the worst experience of your life. The next time we did it, it was Blue Rug Delver in Standard with basically Blue Red Burn Delver with Huntmasters. And you won the whole darn thing with Miracle Bonfire off the top in the finals. It was great television. Then the fourth installment, we voted for Goblins. You had a couple scheduling things which made you miss a couple weeks. Then it turns out the Goblins deck was unplayable, so we just kind of let that go the way of the Buffalo. People were asking about it. We tried to sweep it under the rug, but that just didn't happen. So we've come back now with the finale of what we're calling this promotion. Max Turner Needs a Deck, because we're going to make some changes to it. But tonight you are playing Unexpected Results with Omniscience.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the deck. The deck list is posted on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic, so if you want to go check that out.
Garrett will tell you, and I will back him up, that you do not keep hands without Farseek.
Farseek is a very important card. Let's talk a little bit about what the deck is trying to do. Let's draw up an average game.
You want to turn 2 Farseek, turn 3 Unexpected Results.
And just spin the wheel and hope you hit a goodie. So the deck is band colors. It splashes black for increasing increasing ambition, which all the and
It's all black.
yeah,
It's got red in it for Nicobolus.
yes. Generally speaking, it's not trying to cast these cards. It does play lanterns, so it fixes as well. But basically, it's just kind of a band control deck. Very similar, I'd say, to the Travis Wu Omniscience combo decks, the Omnidor Thragfire things. It's just a band control shell. You're playing Farseeks, you're ramping into Unexpected Results, which is actually a really remarkable card in the deck because basically you can just get free. It's kind of like Show and Tell and Legacy, and we all know I'm a big fan of that. You basically sometimes get free wins. You sometimes catch turn 2 Farseek into turn 3 Unexpected Results and flip Omniscience.
And you swim.
And you just literally just win. Sometimes things like that happen. But in reality, it's also just a band control deck. You're playing all the Supreme Verdicts. You're playing Tutors. You're playing Thragtusks.
Yep, 4.
Yep. So you're playing some Garrick Primal Hunters. So you've got some mid-range goodness in there. I believe you're also playing Gristlebrands. Yep. So just a variety of Yeah, we got a bunch in here. Well done, Joe.
Hey, what were you saying on that? Did I draw from my Thought Scour, or did I drop a Thought Scour?
It looked to me like you forgot to draw the actual card off Thought Scour, but the chat is telling me you did.
Yeah.
I was just making sure.
I thought he was saying, did you drop a Thought Scour? Because I had another Thought Scour in my hand.
We were just trying to confuse you as much as possible.
Apparently.
Okay. So, mission accomplished. You did it.
No, it didn't work. You won.
Okay, so in round 1, you got paired against a control deck of Drusher, which is a Grixis control deck. Very similar to the one we see Chris playing, except it actually wins through the attack step, or Planeswalkers as opposed to dooring people. We find out your deck is not that great against Counterspell. It's Planeswalker.deck.
Yeah.
But assuming you get paired up against a creature deck or something like that, I don't know, we played a bunch of games beforehand, and it's very tough to beat. Turn 3 on Unexpected Results into Bomb is very, very strong.
The chat's asking. It does play 4 Urban Evolution.
It does play Urban Evolution, which is a very good card as well. It plays 1 copy of Enter the Infinite just for shenanigans, the Omniscience Enter the Infinite combo. The combo win is Omniscience casting Into the Infinite, draw your deck, play your door, play your Temporal Mastery, take your extra turn, door them. You can also do that with just Omniscience and 1 Tutor. That will also work as well. But I don't know. It's very fun. We had some very fun games, not on camera, before the tournament started. Hopefully we got some comparably fun games in the tournament now that it has started. It is really cold in here. I know she was putting on her coat, and literally as she started to do that, I realized how cold it was in here. And remember, we've got some other stuff going on tonight. Of course, we've got 3 more rounds of Standard. We've got some more giveaways to do, both to people here at the store and also to stream viewers, so make sure you stay and watch.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just trying to...
Watch me play on camera again.
I hope you get paired against them. Let's talk a little bit about what else is in the field. So we saw the round 1 pairing. We've got Aaron Daly. If you like footy stuff, if you do not, I cannot stress this enough. I understand I'm biased, and I understand that since there's only 40 people watching, most of you are probably familiar with all of our stuff, and you've been watching since the dawn of time. But in the off chance that you have never visited our Facebook page, which is basically our daily news aggregator website, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. If you go to ZachSellsMagic.com, it will redirect you there. So we post all kinds of different stuff, news articles, links, pictures, videos. This week, specifically last night, I posted a video, which was another lowlight from last week, in which this gentleman right here did, I don't want to spoil it, but did something to your opponent in the quarterfinals that resulted in your opponent audibly swearing so loud that it could be picked up verbatim on this microphone through a wall 30 feet away. And then that entire video is 5 minutes long of just Aaron Daly being so upset, but in a way that it's funny. Obviously, Aaron's not the kind of guy who's going to be like legitimately angry about losing at Wizard Fights.
He's about to poke his head in here.
He's a good sport because it's not. I would have done the same thing. But Aaron's here. He's playing black-white tokens. We've got Brandon Hart. What's he playing? Esper?
He's playing a concoction, red, white, black control.
Okay. We've got Chad Watson playing green-white tokens. We got Adam Vickers playing Golgari aggro. We've got Garrett. Garrett's playing junk mid-range. Basically Lingering Souls. It's a control deck without the counter spells. We've got Jacob Fowler playing some kind of... It's either Boros or mono-white beatdown deck. Brandon Booth is playing your red-green aggro deck.
Yes, Brat's on Esper, I'd say that.
Esper, and we've got Joseph Deal on something. It's something weird. It's like red. It's like black-white. It's like aristocrats with no red.
Humans, yeah.
Black-white humans. So a lot of different things going on. I, of course, am undefeated tonight.
Weren't you undefeated on camera?
I have never lost an FNM since we started the stream. Some would point out that I've never played an FNM since I started the stream, but I think that's really splitting hairs. So we've talked about Max's deck tonight. Like I said, it is going to be the last time we do that specific promotion. Basically, all we're changing is the fact that we're still going to do it, but we're going to change the way... We started this week with no more just suggesting just any deck you could think of. We're only going to select decks that are real. We're going to have actual deck lists for the decks before we put them up. Because we want to make sure ultimately that Max has a good time playing FNM, because sometimes if you come up with these crazy decks and we pick it and it wins the vote, it sounds a lot more fun than it actually would be.
I got asked last Friday if that was my stream pick deck every round.
Which was the bug control deck? But that's just a real deck. I don't know. And I think your deck tonight is very real as well. And then we're also making it so that if we want to do that, and maybe like Garrett wants to play it, or some other person wants to play it, or God forbid, I might actually play FNM some weeks.
Sit in your seat all night.
I'm only afraid of all the technical difficulties, but I might be in the chat saying, "Don't do it. Don't do it, Zach." Mike Beeler also saying first turn you should show tell Omniscience Enter the Infinite play 3 Immortals. That could happen. I haven't played a lot of show and tell in Legacy. I think the only thing I'm away from building that exact deck is like a personal tutor in the Dream Halls.
Vince has a Dream Hall, maybe.
I don't know. I just don't know. I just want to play Sneak and Show. Like, I think the deck is better. You might want to stick around, because I know last week we had some bonus Legacy action. The problem when there's only 22 people, there's 11 matchups. a lot of times when the match ends early, we'll go out, get another match, have them slot over so we can have non-stop Magic action. Because if I've learned nothing about doing the stream since we started back in August 31st of last year, is that when we stop playing Magic, the casual fans go. So obviously we have 40 dedicated people who decided tonight, I'm going to watch the Lost Legion's Magic stream.
Competing with today, nothing.
I don't know. They've changed the formats of Twitch, so I no longer have any idea what's going on. Looks like we're not really competing against anything tonight.
Is still playing? Is he playing all day?
We're not really competing against anything, but I don't know. Garrett thinks that because Magic is like, it's not a mistake that a lot of people aren't playing Magic right now because the format's kind of boring. You know what I mean? We're at the last week of Standard. That always happens. So he thinks that it translates to stream viewers too. Like when you're not playing Magic actively, you're not thinking about Magic. I don't know. I think it would be kind of the opposite way. But
right, I would be at home like Brewing for my Dragon's Maze deck.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about Dragon's Maze. Obviously, the new set comes out next Friday, but the pre-releases are this weekend. So if you're local, make sure you come out to Lost Legion. We've got. I'll be here playing tomorrow. So you can.
Are you going to stream it?
No, I'm not going to stream it.
You're going to stream the release draft.
No, here's what we're going to do. It's the same thing we did the other two, is I'm going to play Saturday and stream Sunday. So we will have a Magic stream on Sunday, Gate Crash pre-release, sealed event from the store here. So make sure you click the follow button, which if you're on the old system or the old layout, it's above and to the left of the video screen you're watching right now. If you're on the new Twitch layout, it's below and to the left on the screen. Click the follow button. You'll get an email anytime our stream goes live, which is 90% on Friday nights at 6:30. But also, if we do an event unscheduled, like the Sunday pre-release, so we'll have a couple. Whoever's here, we'll see. We'll watch them build their decks. We'll have a couple of our better players watch them build their seal pool, and then we'll have 4 or 5 rounds of Swiss. That event doesn't cut to a top 8, but so if you play in your event tonight at the crack of dawn, at the midnight pre-release tonight, or you're playing tomorrow's, and you're bored on Sunday, you can watch our stream. It's an interesting note. Last 3 months ago at the Gate Crash pre-release, that was the most people who've ever watched our stream simultaneously. We got up to 350 people.
Awesome.
Which is like a drop in the bucket to most streams, but I was very proud.
Good for us.
Yeah, we're rocking like 40 strong every week lately. We used to be 100 even, minimum, 100 minimum for weeks, but we had the Grand Prix, had the family emergency there that 1 week. We missed 2 weeks in a row, and it has just cratered. So if you can help us spread the word.
Players, round 2 pairings are up.
Thanks, JB.
See you by this round.
Oh, that's
I'll
the.
save you standing up.
It's dirty.
So we'll get you in round 3 then.
Well, you don't have to play this round.
Mhm.